What's going on, you guys? Ray here, and welcome back to another video. So earlier in the week there was an announcement of a new brawler coming in the immediate future, which has sparked so much interest and debate in the Brawl Stars community, which I thought it would be appropriate to make a video touching on some things that I feel like should be coming to the game in the future. Now, I compiled a list of 10 things that I want to see in the game before it goes global. Now, this is a list of 10 things. I want to stress that it's not all going to come in the next update, though I think this list would improve the game dramatically. Whenever you look at a game, it's important to look at the longevity of the game. If you look at the other Supercell games like Clash of Clans, it's been running for 6-ish years. So looking at long term, I feel like these things would help improve the game as of right now. So we're going to be jumping into the list right now. Alright, you guys, so number one jumping into the list is friendly battles. I'm sure you've heard about this already from other YouTubers and in the Brawl Stars community, but I think it would dramatically increase the popularity of the game. If you look at any game like Clash of Clans or Clash Royale, the social dynamic really draws people to play the game. The release of 2v2s in Clash Royale really made the game popular for a really long time, and it still is super fun and playable, but it's because of that social dynamic. You play with your friends, you can rank up with your friends, you can strategize, things like that. Now, there is a lot of social dynamic in Brawl Stars, being that you can play with a team in Brawl Stars, which really drew me to Brawl Stars in the beginning, where you could jump into a game with your friends and play with them. However, I feel like adding even more of that social dynamic to Brawl Stars would make it so much more fun. Also, I feel like friendly battles would be a great way for practicing, getting better at the game. There are ways to practice with the bot brawl, but I feel like that's kind of limiting, being that you're going up against AI, going up against computers. So I feel like the friendly battle would be fun to test things out against your friends, seeing how things work. You can play with friends that are somewhat at your skill level to practice how good you are, things like that. So jumping into number two is an obvious one. It is new brawlers. Whenever Brawl Stars releases new brawlers, it becomes super hyped and super fun to play. Also, there aren't that many characters to play with. So I feel like just adding a bunch of new brawlers would help the game out dramatically. Now, we did get a sneak peek earlier this week of a new brawler coming. I really like this. It really sparked a lot of interest in the Brawl Stars community. Now, looking at it, I feel like brawlers that should be coming to the game should be a bit more lower rarity. I think the higher rarity brawlers are good as is. I feel like you should have only a couple of them just because it's so hard to get them, especially legendaries. I don't see them adding a new legendary to the game very soon, just because I feel like a bunch of people don't even have them, and they want people to play the game. They want people to get the new things like that. So the new brawler being released has a super rare background, so we might be seeing a new super rare brawler coming to the game, but I would also like to see new common players, new rare brawlers, things like that. I think it would make the game a lot more fun, and you could do so much more things. So you guys, number three is something that I've been talking about for the longest time, and that is adding challenges to Brawl Stars. So I feel like if you take a look at several different games, they have something to focus on other than the main goal of the game. So Brawl Stars, the main goal of the game is to rank up, level up, get trophies, get brawlers, things like that, but it's very specific. All you do is get into a game and play against other brawlers. Now, I feel like if they added challenges such as maybe get 50 kills with Mortis, and after that you could get maybe like a reward for it, like maybe like 10 gems, so free-to-play brawlers can work towards getting different skins or things like that. I'm sure the gem count wouldn't be that high. But another thing, maybe like get 100 kills at the maximum range with Piper and call it like the long range shooter. So it directs your focus towards other things in the game, not so that you get so burnt out at pushing, climbing the ladder board, trying to get higher in trophies. It gives you new goals to try to achieve, and I feel like that would really increase the popularity in the game and have people play it a bit more. So you guys, next, number four is ways to tell who is active in your band. So in the last previous updates, they added an additional 50 members you can have in your band, which was awesome, but I feel like made it a little bit more difficult to manage. It's tough to see who is active in your band. If you take a look at Clash of Clans or Clash Royale, there's a dynamic where you can see who is active. In Clash of Clans, there's clan wars, things like that. Clash Royale, there is ways to donate. You can see how many people are donating. Also Clash Royale, there's donations, but things like that where you can see who is the most active in your band, and then you can reward those people in your band for being that active. Right now, I feel like there's no way you can really tell unless they're in the chat talking a lot, and that is really difficult for 100 people to see all those 100 people talking and things like that. There is like an option at the top left where you can see how many people are online usually, and you can average that out, but other than that, there's not that much. So you guys, next is number 5, and that is power-ups. So I feel like if you take a look at the game right now, I feel like it is very straightforward. There's not much you can do with each specific brawler. For example, if you take a look at Primo, he's one of the only brawlers in the game, and it can be difficult, very difficult, to get close to the other brawlers. Now, there is strategy in it where you can hide in the brush and wait for them to come to you, but if you're trying to track down another brawler with Primo, it's very, very difficult. I feel like adding power-ups such as working towards things like you could get an increase in speed, an increase in damage. So yeah, you guys, I feel like power-ups would be really fun. It's another thing you can work towards unlocking and making a game a little bit more personal to each individual player playing Brawl Stars. Alright, you guys, so next, number 6 is game modes, and I feel like a lot of people would agree with me that adding more game modes to Brawl Stars makes it so much more fun. If you take a look at the addition of Brawl Ball, a lot of people were enjoying Brawl Ball, and it was a long time, a few weeks where people were hyped for the game mode, and I would like to see that happen. I feel like it adds a different dynamic where the other 4 were very straightforward, where you would just attack and kill. Now, Brawl Ball coming to the game added a different dynamic where there's a lot more teamwork and a lot more collaboration with your team, and I think that is awesome. I want to see more game modes coming to the game. There has been several people talking in the comments on my videos, game modes like 5v5s where you could play with more of your teammates, adding more of that social connection with your teammates, being able to play with more people. I'm sure the Brawl Stars team has been going over different game mode ideas. I feel like that's something easy enough to add to the game, and it really sparks a lot of interest. So definitely be ready for more and more game modes to be coming to Brawl Stars. So next, number 7 is new maps. I feel like I'm always super pumped when a new map comes around, especially the way Brawl Stars has their game designed, where there's a rotation and you have to wait for a new map to come. It adds a lot more hype and a lot more fun. I really like that, where you have to wait a little bit longer. It's not so instant gratification. You have to wait for just a tiny bit to get that new game mode, and it really increases the hype, which I love. So new game modes such as Feast or Famine. When Feast or Famine came out, a lot of people were excited for it, and it was a great success. We're seeing a lot more brawlers like Brock, Colt, Piper being played in Showdown, which makes it so much more fun, adds more to the game. And you can do a lot with adding different game modes to Brawl Stars, like with maps being the majority of the map being brush. It really makes the shorter range brawlers shine, which adds a different gameplay dynamic to that specific game mode. Other things like GG Corral, where you're seeing people like Jesse tossing the turret over the wall and hopefully winning. I think that is super fun, and I am always super pumped for the game modes to come out. So yeah, definitely be expecting new maps coming to the game. I feel like it fits under that category of those quality of life changes. I know in previous balance change updates we have seen the addition of 1 or 2 game maps coming to the game. So definitely be expecting that in the next update and updates to come. Those are always going to be coming to the game, and it's something that I'm always super pumped for. Alright, you guys, so next is number 8, and that is adding more skins to the game. So I feel like this sounds more of a smaller addition to the game, but I feel like it can do a lot. Personally, I don't have any skins, but I feel like it is something that you can make personally to you. And also, I feel like they can do a lot with like holiday skins. They can add achievement skins where higher rank brawlers, you can unlock different skins at a certain rank that you can show it off to your buddies that you have a certain skin and I got rewarded for reaching this certain milestone. I feel like that would add a lot more to the game, giving people something to shoot for, something to work towards. So yeah, I feel like adding skins is important for the game, especially on the brawlers that don't have any. I mean, El Primo has 2 and some brawlers don't have any. So I really look forward to seeing new skins coming out in the game, and I'm sure they're discussing these types of things Alright, you guys, so number 9, guys, this is a big one, and that is leagues. So this topic has been addressed so much. I feel like everyone is talking about how Brawl Stars, once you get really high up, there's no real reward or reason to keep going above 500. Because of the resets every 2 weeks, you dramatically get a decrease in your trophies, and for the brawlers that are above 500, they don't get that much return for it. At the end of 2 weeks, they get their decrease in trophies, and they get an additional maybe 200 to 300 gold for that. So I feel like the only real reason to push right now is strictly competitiveness. If you take a look at some of the higher up brawlers, you see people going up really high for 2 weeks, but then they kind of fizzle out once they reach the top, or if they get really high, they just fizzle out because there's no real reason to keep going. I feel like if you added leagues, being that if you hit like a certain trophy range and you get maybe a reward for it, or bragging rights even. I know looking at Clash Royale, reaching like the Champions League was something that was really rewarding for me because I worked so hard to get there. So I feel like adding leagues would really make people want to keep playing, want to keep pushing their account up and up. So you guys, the final one, number 10, is the Brawl Box reward system. So I feel like a lot of people would agree with me that it's really difficult to collect a lot of chips or get the elixirs that you need, or even just get new brawlers. I've been playing the game for a long time, and I only have like a collective 200 chips. So I feel like getting those legendary brawlers with chips alone is really out of my range as somewhat of a free-to-play brawler. I spend gems somewhat, but not a whole lot. I feel like making it easier to get more chips out of the brawl boxes is important. Also, getting more elixirs so that you can max out your brawlers, making it easier to play the game is really important. Also, I feel like it'd be really beneficial to work in like a free chest or a free brawl box dynamic to the game, where you see in Clash Royale, where you can slowly accumulate more and more free-to-play wise, because I feel like it takes a long time to save up 100 coins and getting only a chip or an elixir out of it. So yeah, you guys, I feel like the Brawl Stars reward system definitely needs some reworking. I feel like you shouldn't have to wait till you're like level 85 like myself to be able to accumulate that many chips to spend on some of the higher level brawlers. So you guys, that is my list of 10 things that I would like to see in the Brawl Stars updates to come. Now, I just want to stress again that this is a list of 10 things. It's a lot of stuff, so definitely don't expect all these things to be in the next update, but think of it long term in a progression where updates to come slowly, making the game better and better and more ready for global and Android and things like that. Alright, you guys, so that's going to be in the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure if you did to leave a like on it. Also, please comment below on what you think is going to be coming in the next update and what you think needs to be added to the game long term. So guys, with that being said, make sure to keep having fun with Brawl Stars, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace. Scrub my head from hip to